The power of relentless persistence will change your life. There comes a moment in every human life when the noise of the world grows louder than the voice within. A moment when doubt begins to whisper that perhaps this is all you were meant to become. An ordinary life, ordinary dreams, ordinary results. The world has a strange way of convincing people to lower their expectations until they mistake survival for success and comfort for fulfillment. But listen carefully. History has never been changed by comfortable people. Every empire, every invention, every masterpiece, every revolution, every fortune, every impossible dream that became reality was born inside the mind of someone who refused to quit when quitting appeared to be the only reasonable option. Persistence is not merely a habit. Persistence is an identity. It is the invisible force that separates those who admire greatness from those who become great. Most people misunderstand success. They believe it belongs to the smartest person in the room, the most talented, the most connected, or the luckiest. They spend years searching for shortcuts while overlooking the one principle that has quietly built every extraordinary life. Relentless persistence. Not temporary enthusiasm. Not motivation that fades with the sunrise. Not confidence that disappears after the first rejection. Relentless persistence. The kind that survives failure. The kind that grows stronger through criticism. The kind that keeps walking when the destination cannot yet be seen. Imagine standing at the edge of a mountain covered by thick fog. You cannot see the summit. You cannot even see the next 100 steps. Most people turn around because they believe that what they cannot see does not exist. The persistent person takes one more step. Then another. Then another. Eventually the fog begins to disappear, not because the mountain changed, but because movement revealed what waiting never could. Life rewards movement. Life rewards those who refuse to surrender their vision simply because the evidence has not yet arrived. Think about Thomas Edison. Thousands of unsuccessful experiments. Thousands of opportunities to conclude that the dream was impossible. Thousands of chances to become another forgotten inventor. But Edison refused to measure progress by immediate results. Every failed attempt became another lesson. Every obstacle became another teacher. Every disappointment became another brick laid on the road toward history. The light bulb did not appear because of talent alone. It appeared because persistence outlived frustration. Henry Ford was mocked for believing ordinary people could own automobiles. Experts insisted his vision would never work. Investors laughed. Competitors doubted him. He kept building. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination. Imagine hearing those words from people who believed they understood creativity. Yet the castles were built. The stories were written. The impossible became unforgettable because persistence refused to accept the opinions of temporary critics as permanent truth. The world often mistakes persistence for stubbornness until success arrives. Then suddenly everyone calls it vision. Never allow applause to become your definition of progress. Most people wait for confidence before they begin. But confidence is not the cause. Confidence is the reward. It grows every time you keep a promise to yourself. Every morning you choose discipline instead of excuses. Every evening you choose improvement instead of distraction. Every difficult conversation you refuse to avoid. Every uncomfortable decision you refuse to postpone. Brick by brick, your identity changes. Not because someone gave you permission. Because your actions forced your mind to believe what your words alone never could. The greatest prison is not failure. It is believing that failure has the authority to define you. Failure is simply information. It tells you what does not work. It reveals weaknesses you could never discover through comfort. It exposes habits that have quietly stolen years from your future. The persistent person welcomes these lessons because they understand something most people never learn. Every setback carries hidden instructions. Gold is buried beneath layers of rock. Diamonds are formed beneath unimaginable pressure. The tallest trees survive because their roots grow deeper than anyone can see. Nature itself teaches persistence. Nothing magnificent appears overnight. Seeds disappear into darkness before they rise toward sunlight. Perhaps the season you call delay is actually preparation. Perhaps the closed door protected you from entering the wrong room. Perhaps the rejection redirected your purpose instead of destroying it. Your perspective determines your power. Two people can experience the same storm. One becomes bitter. The other becomes wiser. One complains about the rain. The other learns to build stronger shelter. The storm does not decide the outcome. The mindset does. That is why guarding your thoughts is one of the greatest responsibilities you will ever accept. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you repeatedly plant eventually grows. Plant fear. Harvest hesitation. Plant excuses. Harvest regret. Plant persistence. Harvest possibilities. Every great achievement first existed as an invisible thought. Andrew Carnegie imagined an industrial empire long before steel transformed cities. Abraham Lincoln endured defeat after defeat before leading one of history's greatest nations through its darkest hours. Their circumstances never guaranteed victory. Their persistence made victory inevitable. The modern world celebrates overnight success while ignoring the decades hidden beneath the spotlight. You see the championship. You do not see the mornings when no one applauded. You see the business. You do not see the years filled with uncertainty. You see the wealth. You do not see the sacrifices that build it. Success is expensive. The currency is consistency. Every day demands another payment, another decision, another disciplined action, another refusal to surrender. There will be mornings when your alarm feels heavier than your dream. There will be nights when exhaustion convinces you that one day off cannot possibly matter. Those are the moments that shape destiny. Because character is never revealed when everything feels easy. Character is revealed when every excuse sounds reasonable, yet you continue anyway. The strongest people are not those who never feel fear. They are the ones who refuse to let fear become their leader. Courage is not the absence of uncertainty. Courage is movement despite uncertainty. Faith is not seeing the entire staircase. Faith is taking the next step even when darkness surrounds it. Every extraordinary life is built one invisible decision at a time. No audience, no celebration, no headlines. Just one person deciding that today's excuses will not become tomorrow's identity. The world is filled with dreamers. Few become builders. The difference is persistence. Dreams inspire. Persistence constructs. Vision creates direction. Persistence creates reality. Reality does not bend because you wish for it to change. It bends because you become the kind of person who can shape it. That transformation never happens in a single dramatic moment. It happens quietly, beneath the surface, while the rest of the world is distracted by comfort and convenience. Most people spend their lives negotiating with their potential. They wake up with ambition, but by evening they have traded it for convenience. They make promises to themselves, then allow temporary emotions to cancel permanent goals. They wait until they feel inspired. They wait until the timing feels perfect. They wait until fear disappears. And while they wait, life continues moving without them. Time is the only currency that never asks for permission before leaving. Every sunrise is an investment opportunity. Every sunset closes an account that can never be reopened. The question is not whether time is passing. The question is whether your persistence is growing faster than your excuses. There is a silent battle taking place inside every ambitious person. One voice says, "You have already done enough." The other whispers, "There is still more inside you." The first voice seeks comfort. The second seeks greatness. Whichever voice you feed becomes your future. Do not underestimate the power of repetition. A river does not carve through stone because it is stronger than the rock. It carves through stone because it never stops flowing. That is persistence. Not explosive effort. Endless effort. Not one extraordinary day. Thousands of ordinary days executed with extraordinary commitment. The world celebrates intensity, but destiny rewards consistency. A single workout cannot build strength. A single book cannot build wisdom. A single investment cannot create lasting wealth. A single opportunity cannot define an extraordinary life. Everything meaningful compounds. Every disciplined morning compounds. Every lesson compounds. Every courageous decision compounds. Every hour spent mastering your craft compounds. At first the results appear invisible. Then they become undeniable. People call it luck because they were not present during the years when nothing seemed to happen. Never confuse invisible progress with no progress. The bamboo tree spends years growing underground before it suddenly rises toward the sky. Those who judge only what they can see believe growth happened overnight. They never witness the roots. Your roots are your habits. Your roots are your discipline. Your roots are your mindset. Your roots are the promises you keep when nobody is watching. Protect your roots, and your future will protect itself. The greatest danger is not failure. The greatest danger is becoming comfortable with mediocrity. Comfort whispers softly. It tells you that tomorrow will be better. It convinces you that one missed opportunity will not matter. It persuades you to settle because settling feels safe. But comfort has stolen more dreams than failure ever could. Failure hurts. Comfort hypnotizes. Failure forces growth. Comfort postpones it. One teaches. The other traps. Every giant achievement begins with a decision that appears insignificant. One more page. One more call. One more attempt. One more hour. One more lesson. One more promise kept. Never underestimate the power of one more. History belongs to those who kept going one more time than everyone else. When Abraham Lincoln lost elections, he did not lose his purpose. When Henry Ford faced ridicule, he did not abandon his vision. When Walt Disney was rejected, he did not reject himself. When Thomas Edison encountered another unsuccessful experiment, he did not conclude that success was impossible. They understood something that many people spend their entire lives failing to discover. Temporary defeat is not permanent identity. Life will test every declaration you make. The moment you decide to become disciplined, distractions will multiply. The moment you commit to excellence, average thinking will invite you back. The moment you begin believing in yourself, doubt will attempt one final negotiation. This is not punishment. This is preparation. Iron becomes steel only through fire. A diamond earns its brilliance through pressure. The eagle learns to fly by leaving the safety of the nest. Growth has always demanded discomfort. If your dream does not require a stronger version of yourself, perhaps your dream is too small. You cannot carry extraordinary responsibility with ordinary discipline. You cannot expect uncommon rewards while living with common habits. Raise your standards before you expect life to raise your results. Your standards are your silent expectations. They determine what you tolerate. They determine what you reject. They determine who you become. Successful people are not defined by what they occasionally do. They are defined by what they refuse to compromise. They refuse to negotiate with laziness. They refuse to entertain excuses. They refuse to surrender their future for temporary pleasure. Every decision writes another sentence in the story of your life. Eventually, those sentences become chapters. Those chapters become your legacy. Ask yourself a difficult question. If someone studied your daily routine for 1 year, would they predict the future you claim to want? Your habits always reveal your true beliefs. Not your words. Not your intentions. Not your wishes. Your habits. The mirror never lies. Neither do your actions. The beautiful truth is that you are never trapped by yesterday. Every sunrise offers a new contract. A new decision. A new opportunity to become someone your past cannot recognize. Persistence is not about perfection. It is about returning. You stumble. Return. You fail. Return. You doubt yourself. Return. You lose momentum. Return. Again. 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 Because greatness does not belong to those who never fall. It belongs to those who never stay down. One day, the very struggle that almost convinced you to quit will become the story that inspires someone else to begin. Your scars will speak louder than your victories. Your resilience will become proof that impossible situations can be overcome. And when that day arrives, people will ask you how you did it. They will search for a secret. They will hope for a shortcut. Smile quietly. Because the answer was never hidden. You simply refused to stop. Refusing to stop is more than determination. It is a declaration to the universe that your purpose is greater than your pain. Every sunrise becomes another opportunity to prove that yesterday's disappointments will not become tomorrow's destiny. Every breath becomes another chance to rewrite a story that others believed had already been finished. The world will always try to measure you by your current results. Do not make the mistake of measuring yourself the same way. Measure yourself by your growth. Measure yourself by your courage. Measure yourself by the promises you continue to keep when no one is watching. Because results are temporary snapshots. Character is the entire film. The strongest buildings in the world are not admired because of their rooftops. They are admired because of foundations nobody ever sees. Likewise, the strongest people are not defined by public victories. They are defined by private disciplines. The hours they spent studying while others slept. The mornings they rose before dawn while excuses still lingered in the darkness. The evenings they practiced one more time after everyone else had already gone home. Champions are created long before championships are won. By the time the crowd applauds, the real work has already been completed. That is why you must fall in love with the process instead of becoming addicted to the outcome. If your happiness depends only on reaching the finish line, your motivation will disappear every time the road becomes longer than expected. But if you discover joy in becoming stronger, if you become grateful for every lesson, if you appreciate every opportunity to improve, then no obstacle can steal your enthusiasm. Because every challenge becomes another chance to grow. There is an old truth that echoes through every generation. The man who conquers himself is greater than the man who conquers 1,000 enemies. Your greatest opponent has never been another person. It has always been the version of yourself that seeks comfort over commitment. The version that whispers, tomorrow. The version that settles for average. The version that chooses entertainment instead of education. Convenience instead of discipline. Excuses instead of responsibility. That version must be defeated daily. Not once. Every single day. Self-mastery is not a destination. It is a lifelong conversation between the person you were and the person you are capable of becoming. Every decision casts a vote. Every action strengthens one identity while weakening another. When you choose discipline, you vote for your future. When you choose growth, you vote for greatness. When you choose persistence, you vote for the life you dream about. Never believe that small decisions are insignificant. A ship changes its destination by adjusting its course by only a few degrees. The difference appears invisible at first. Months later, it arrives at an entirely different shore. Your life works the same way. One better habit, one healthier choice, one extra hour of learning, one honest conversation, one courageous decision. Over time, these small changes create a future so different that your past would struggle to recognize it. Do not despise small beginnings. Every mighty oak was once an unnoticed acorn. Every great leader was once an unknown believer. Every fortune started with a single idea. Every masterpiece began with one imperfect stroke. The beginning rarely looks extraordinary. Persistence makes it extraordinary. Many people quit because they expect transformation to feel dramatic. Instead, transformation often feels repetitive. Wake up, improve, learn, work, reflect, repeat, again, until repetition becomes excellence. Until discipline becomes identity. Until persistence becomes instinct. The sculptor does not create a masterpiece with one strike of the hammer. Thousands of careful strikes remove everything that does not belong. Your habits are doing the same thing. Every disciplined decision chips away at fear. Every courageous action chips away at doubt. Every commitment chips away at weakness. Until one day, hidden beneath years of effort, the masterpiece finally appears. People will call you gifted. They will call you fortunate. They will admire your success. Few will understand the invisible years when nobody believed in you except yourself. Guard that belief. Protect it fiercely. There will always be people who project the limits of their own imagination onto your dreams. Do not borrow someone else's limitations. Do not allow another person's fear to become your future. The tallest mountains have always looked impossible from the valley. Only those willing to climb ever discover the view. Remember this whenever life becomes difficult. Resistance is often evidence that you are moving in the right direction. The wind blows hardest against the trees that stand tallest. The ocean strikes hardest against the cliffs that refuse to move. Pressure seeks strength because strength refuses to surrender. So when life becomes heavy, stand taller. When uncertainty grows louder, strengthen your faith. When rejection arrives, sharpen your skills. When failure knocks, answer it with another attempt. And another. And another. Because persistence possesses a quiet power that the world rarely notices until it becomes impossible to ignore. Eventually, the obstacle grows tired before the persistent person does. Eventually, opportunity recognizes the individual who refused to leave the field. Eventually, destiny rewards the one who remained faithful long after everyone else abandoned the vision. You were not created merely to exist. You were created to build, to serve, to lead, to inspire, to become living proof that an ordinary beginning never limits an extraordinary ending. The chapter you are living today is not the final chapter. As long as your heart still beats, the pen is still in your hands. Write with courage. Write with discipline. Write with relentless persistence.